What do you mean, is this a weird face? We're starting the show. You can't say, is this a weird face right before I hit the button.
I like to make funny faces.
This is the Frank and Friends Show. Hi there, I'm Frank Murphy.
Hey, I'm Sarah Roberto.
Hi, Sarah.
Hey, it's been a minute.
It has been. It's been months, but it also, because of my ineptitude, I had some issues where a scheduled co-host had to cancel on me at the last minute. So I've only managed, it's only been 9 episodes, I counted, since you were last here. It should have been like 15, but that's on me because, when someone calls and says they can't come, I just curl up into a ball and think nobody likes me. And I cry, yeah.
I would too.
So next time you cancel on me, you'll know.
I know. Do not cancel on Frank Murphy. It is not cool. Don't do it.
I can't pick any. I'm teasing you because you're here.
Yes.
But it's not just you.
It happens. Sometimes things come up. Kids get sick.
Life happens.
Puppies wander away.
It's so true.
We have to work too, for a living.
I get that. I get that. I mean, I do this show for my own psychotherapy. I don't do any other mental health exercises other than this show. This is it for me. So it's good for me to have to, clean up, put on the bright lights, put on a fresh shirt. And a fake smile and have at.
And just go.
Although actually this is a real smile because I'm really happy that you're here.
I'm happy to be here.
We, of course, are on the YouTube and the audio podcast apps. We hope you'll subscribe. And it's free, as we've determined in a recent episode. There is no charge to subscribe on YouTube, despite what this doctor told me. I said, no, doctor, they just use the word subscribe. It doesn't mean pay for a subscription. It's just free, and it goes into your feed, and it helps the creator...
Helps you see it.
...get paid if you can get to 1,000 subscriptions, which I don't think I'm ever going to get there because...
We have hope. One day.
I mean, I told all these people at this event, and they start signing up there on their phones, and my count goes up, and then somehow now I'm worse off than I started because if I gained 3, I lost 6.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
I think delete their Gmail accounts.
I think YouTube is toying with me. I think YouTube's like, oh, this guy's getting too close. They must examine his records and find any delinquent accounts that can be terminated.
And they turn them off. No fair.
But yes,
please subscribe.
People do lose their Gmail account. In fact, Gmail is doing a massive house cleaning and deleting accounts that have been inactive for 2-3 years, whatever it is.
That's what I think it is. We've solved the riddle.
We've got the merch. I believe, I think I have the older, I had to buy a new mug. And I'm pretty sure I gave you the brand new mug that just came in the mail.
I told you I have one at home, and it's white.
We unboxed that on the episode last week, and it tastes delicious.
Cold water,
but...
Should we tell them we drink gin, like just straight
Well,
gin,
if we were going to do that... See,
Yeah.
I do intend, and if you wanted to start day drinking, I would do it in the brand new, not brand new to me, Frank and Friends Pint Show glasses, which I think are beautiful. Yeah. These are my new favorite merch item. I think they're super attractive.
It's a substantial glass.
It's like a restaurant quality, I think, pint glass.
For sure.
And my intention was, I just got these in the mail yesterday, and I haven't done anything with them yet. I'm obviously going to wash them, but my thought was when occasionally. Maybe 3 episodes out of the many, many times that she's been on, Catherine Frady and I have been here drinking hard cider.
Oh, nice.
So if I'm going to do that, I'm not going to hide it in the mug. I'm going to make sure everybody can see what we're up to.
There you go.
And that's my intention.
But you can also have orange juice in this. You can have a little iced coffee.
Would you like me to get you some orange juice?
No. I'm just saying.
Think I have any,
I'm letting people know the breadth of beverages which you can partake in.
Well, send in your order in advance next time, and it will be a cold glass of whatever will be waiting right here for you on the table, and I can take care of that.
Sounds good.
Now, I know we're a little rushed getting started today for me because a number of things. I had some major schedule malfunctions earlier today, and then I get the text from you. I'm getting everything set up, and I get the text from you. I'm here, and I'm super early. I said, and I thought it's possible because you've been early before.
Yes.
But I've also gotten a text sometimes from you or from any of the other co-hosts saying, "Hey,"
late.
And I'm always fine with that because I come from a family that runs late. My mother and family, we were a late running family, not an early family. My wife comes from an early family. Her dad was military, so it's been a conflict in our marriage for the years. She's early, I'm late, and she's not going to change, shouldn't change. I don't want her to change. She's correct. So I have been getting better and better about being on time and sometimes even early.
I'm surrounded by late people as well. My husband's late to everything. My dad and mom were habitually late to everything.
So you get it.
And it drives me crazy.
So you get it.
I'm an on-time person.
Okay.
But sometimes I don't gauge traffic correctly, and I get here like 15 minutes early.
Now, you could have sat in the driveway and not told me you were there, and other co-hosts have done that.
Yeah.
I've opened the garage, and they've been out there for, like David Crawford, an opera singer, so I could, of course, you realize if you give him a 3 p.m. call, of course he's going to be there at 2:15 because that's what he does. He's a professional.
Yeah.
And that's so, I should have realized that. But you texted me, said, I'm here early. I said, well, come on in. I haven't put on the show shirt yet. I still had on my Eton shirt.
Had a little wardrobe change. Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure I shoozed up and mouthwashed and did all the things that I would do before the show. Plus, I was still setting the, whatever it was, setting the microphones.
Yes.
Well, and that's your thing, is you're habitually that way, right?
Yes. Yeah. Want to
So-
be on time.
Now, I have a friend, my good friend Bean, and I met with him for lunch today, and that's part of what this whole story is about. This all hinges on my friend Bean, who is in the process of moving back to London.
Oh, nice.
He moved to London, I don't remember how many years ago, and then moved back to Louisiana for a few years, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, for family reasons. And now that's all sorted, and he can go back to London. But he drives from New Orleans to this pet jet, a private jet that flies him and his pugs and his wife to London.
That is my dream.
A pet jet?
To be able to have enough money to fly not only charter and, private and not on a commercial airline, but with your dog.
It's more charter because there's like 30 people on the plane,
Still,
or 40 people, whatever it is. The plane
ballin'.
load of people and dogs or cats or whatever, snakes, whatever they're bringing.
That's high living.
It's high living. But he's got flat-nosed dogs, and that's the only way to get him across the ocean on a plane is this special...
Yeah. You're not putting them in the cargo area?
Right.
Yeah.
They'll die.
Yeah.
And so whatever it is. So anyway, he does that. He puts money aside. He's able to afford that. Smart man. Well, so he's driving through, and he's staying in Tennessee for a day before he drives on to wherever the next stop is in New Jersey, I guess, or Virginia, New Jersey, blah, 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 eventually London. So I think it's nice. He's staying over in Crossville near the Buc-ee's.
Nice.
Because there's a Buc-ee's.
We love Buc-ee's.
You've never been to Buc-ee's.
I haven't, but I
we'll put a pin. I would gladly take you to Buc-ee's and make an episode of you going to Buc-ee's just to watch the wide-eyed wonderment.
Yeah.
Even though
like going to Disney World for the first time.
Which you've also done. We can talk about that too.
Recently, yeah.
All right. So I'm here in Knoxville. He's over in Crossville. And he says, where do you want to meet? Can we meet in between? He doesn't want to drive all the way here and doesn't want to make me drive all the way there. So if you do the math, exactly halfway between
let me guess, is it Harriman?
Yeah.
I knew it.
35 miles for me, 35 miles for him, and we land at the Cracker Barrel.
Harriman Cracker Barrel, because that's
Harriman.
like the only choice.
Well, there's a Shoney's, but I looked at the Shoney's menu.
I'm not mad at Shoney's.
No, I looked at the Shoney's menu, and I couldn't find any vegetarian options. And my friend Bean is mostly vegetarian. He'll have he'll have turkey on occasion because he doesn't like birds, but he doesn't eat cows or pigs. Certain other things. Fish he'll eat, but it doesn't matter. I don't even know all the details. I don't need to know all the details. I just knew that Cracker Barrel is a better option for him because he's going to miss it. He loves Cracker Barrel. He's probably never been to Shoney's. Doesn't care. It doesn't mean anything to him. So I can go to Shoney's anytime.
Yes.
Cracker Barrel, big deal. So what we're going to do then is meet at the Harriman Cracker Barrel, and I'm doing the math. He's in Central Time. I'm in Eastern Time.
Yes.
He wants to know what time to leave.
Which is kind of confusing.
I don't know what time to tell you to leave. I just tell you that what if we meet at noon Eastern, 11 Central? She's like, okay, I'll leave at 10:45. I'm like, no, not 10. That gives you 15 minutes.
No.
What you need to do is... He's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I meant 10:15. So he's going to leave now 45 minutes before the lunch to drive 35 minutes to get there. So I already know he's going to be early.
A little bit early, yeah.
And I am having a good day. I got up early, I had my coffee, I'm ready to go. I am ready to walk out the door at 10:45 my time, which is an hour and 15 minutes before the lunch. I was so early, I was going to go to Kroger and buy a Cracker Barrel gift card so that I could pay for the lunch and get quadruple gas points at the same time.
That's smart. Look at that.
Ready. I am so,
you got a plan.
So ready for all of this. I am pumped. And I'm going to and now I'm even making up in my head, how do I explain to Bean how do I, first of all, I don't know what kind of car he's driving. I have no idea if he's at the Cracker Barrel. I said, well, he's going to probably be early. So I need to tell him, this is me thinking this, overthinking this while I'm in the shower. Okay, I'll tell him, hey, traffic was unpredictable. I ended up at Cracker Barrel ahead of schedule. I'm sitting in the car responding to emails. And of course thinking, I better...
You can always shop.
I hope someone sends me an email so that I can respond to it. But just in case, let me know when you arrive. And he might say, oh, I'm already inside. And then boom, we start early.
Yes.
So I'm just figuring out how to do all this without making him feel bad for me getting there first.
Yeah, super early. Like you're waiting on him.
Because I have this, he always calls me the most irritatingly on-time person. And the reason is we would go to lunch, in California. We both lived in California, or he would live in other parts of the world, Seattle. And when he'd visit California, we'd meet at the Talleyrand in Burbank. And we'd say noon, right?
Sounds fancy.
No. It's a diner. It's a dive.
Diner.
It's a greasy spoon dive. But it's great. So he'd be sitting there, and I'd come panting. I would live walking distance from the Talleyrand. I could have walked there, but I didn't. I drove the 3 minutes. And I would come running in, and he'd be sitting there looking at his watch and say, 11:59, how do you do it? He couldn't understand how.
Like right on the nose, you were there.
And it's like I planned it, but I wasn't planning to get there at 11:59. I was planning to get there at 11:45. I just barely made it. All right. So this time I'm going to be early.
Yes,
I'm so early. I'm so early. I am ready, and I walk out to the car, and I've got my I'm bringing a coffee for the road. That's how much time I assume that I'm going to have before I go into Cracker Barrel. I sit down and nothing.
Your car?
Dead. D-E-A-D, dead.
Won't even crank.
Nothing. In fact, I'm looking around. All the lights on the dashboard are lit up, and then they start to fade.
Oh, that's not.
And I turn the key back, and I try it one more time, and I see the dome light, just the most tiny little orangest of glimmer, and it goes away.
So did you do it? Did you leave the door open, the trunk open?
Well, the dome lights are your push button. They're push button, right? You push them and on and off.
Did you push it?
And I'm thinking, why would I have turned on the light? I mean, we went to the St. Patrick's Parade on Saturday. We went to the church on Sunday, and I can't figure it out. So now I've got to call I got to text Bean and say my car is dead.
Yeah, can't get there.
I've got to text my wife and say, hey, the battery's dead. I've had to call AAA, which is another issue, and all these other things. And my wife's like, oh no. And she texts back just like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, what do you mean I'm so sorry? So she is convinced that she left the dome light on yesterday.
Yeah, just was looking for something.
Her eyeglass case. Because I had just texted her 20 minutes before that, hey, I found your eyeglass case when I went out to the car to put a bottle of water in the side door thing, and her eyeglass case was blocking it. Yesterday, we're searching all over for it. She was out to my car looking for it, and she left the dome light on, so not quite 24 hours, but
yeah, it sat there burning bright until it didn't burn anymore.
So now I'm going to be late for lunch with Bean, I think. I think, well, wait, if the AAA can get here fast enough. Right? It's only a 35-minute drive.
Did they show up?
So I call, right? I call, and you get the menu. Press 1 for this, press 1 for that. It doesn't work.
Let me talk to somebody.
It doesn't work. It says, if you have a battery issue, press 1. I pressed 1 28 times, and because it just kept saying, it gave me the menu again and again. It did not accept my thing. And it also says, to avoid having to wait, respond to the text we sent you and click on the link. Like, I don't want to click on the link. I just need a charge. I just need a battery jump charge. That's all I need. Well, eventually the AAA phone hangs up on me, right? Because it's not recognizing any of the numbers that I'm tapping in.
Maybe this is God's way of saying don't go to Harriman.
So I open the app, right? I mean, not the app, it's not even an app, it's a text. And it's got a link. And I click the link and it says, hello, Frank. I'm like, oh gosh, it knows who I am. And we know where you are. What do you need? So I fill out the thing, and I'm so frustrated at this point because I remember the last time we tried this, my wife had a flat tire, and it wouldn't accept the location she was in. It kept trying to say she was at some apartment complex across the street, and she's like, no, I'm in the middle of the road, I've got a flat tire. So we ended up not even using AAA for that one. Some Good Samaritan helped us.
Oh, that's good. Those still exist.
Yes, well.
Thank you, Good Samaritan.
So I'm a little frustrated. 38-year member of AAA. I'm like, what? But the guy gave me a hint. The guy who eventually did come, he says, yeah, don't call the 800 number anymore. On the back of your card, there's a number for the local office. Just call them.
Oh, that's a good hint.
Good tip.
Okay, good tip.
All right, so I'm glad I know that. But he's here, jump starts the battery, and then he says, look at this, the readings are really bad on it. Do you want to buy a new battery? I'm like, well, that's the business that they're in. They're literally, the guy has got 50 batteries in the back of his car in every conceivable size. And he said, he says, this one looks like it's been in since the car was new. It's a 2018 model car, so that's, what's that, 8-year-old battery?
Yeah, it's pretty old.
And he says, I can install the whole thing for you. Like, it's like 200 and change, I don't forget exactly, $218, something like that. I called the boss again and asked her. I said, and we had just done this. Idea. We had just done this to her car last year, where the AAA came and jump-started and sold us a new battery in the garage, and it was worth it. It was worth it. I said, yes, do it.
It's easy peasy.
Then the guy gives me the thing, and he wants a tip.
Oh, oh my goodness.
And I felt so bad because
I went ahead
and gave him the lowest tip. He said, most people just do the lowest amount. I'm like, not as low as I'm thinking.
Yeah, tipping is everywhere.
But
even if you get a sandwich somewhere, like a Subway, they want a tip.
Yeah, so now I'm got the battery, and of course everything gets a little slowed. He has to try, it's just not the first battery, it doesn't fit quite right. It's another one, and it's like not 5 minutes, and I'm getting antsy. So I could walk into Cracker Barrel at 12:04, and Bean says, totally unacceptable. 4 minutes late.
You should have said, do you know what I went through to get here? Bean, do you know? The horrors.
I did, because I had been texting him screenshots from AAA, so he was well aware. And I sent him a picture of the guy changing my battery.
I mean, if you were only 4 minutes late, that's pretty good. I thought you were going to say you were like 30 minutes late.
No, I got there. I probably could have.
Actually not bad.
If I had not hit the red light getting off the interstate, I would have been 2 minutes late. So we checking out.
But you made it work.
And I even paid for lunch because I felt so bad. I was going to, but I had to pay with regular money because I didn't have time to stop at Kroger and get a
You had no time for Kroger.
But we're in there, and they got all the marshmallow Peeps and all the other fancy candies.
Yes, it's Easter time almost.
And Bean is like, oh, notice those Dr. Pepper Peeps. Because Bean himself had mailed me anonymously. I got a package in the mail with Dr. Pepper Peeps, and I thought it had to be from Bean.
I see them.
So now
I'm so excited.
A couple of episodes ago, you saw that my daughter Megan had texted me a picture of an empty Peeps package and said they were delicious. Now, my other Dr. Pepper fanatic friends, like David Crawford, said he did not like them.
Oh.
But he drinks the Dr. Pepper Zero, is that what they call it?
That's the no calorie. It's like Coke Zero, but
it's
different. It tastes different than Diet Dr. Pepper.
But Bean sent me 3 packages of Dr. Pepper Peeps. So I'm thinking, and I didn't know that you were a Dr. Pepper fan.
I love Dr. Pepper.
You like Dr. Pepper? I didn't know. How do I not know that you're a pepper?
Dr. Pepper. I'm a pepper. You're a pepper.
Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too?
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper, drink Dr. Pepper. So I am surprised because I immediately associate those with Becca James and Catherine Frady, who are both from Texas.
Do I get to open them?
Well, yeah, we can open them, but we also maybe this is a great time. Well, we'll open them far away from the mic, or else do it really fast and loud, and I can cover. No, I'm serious, and I'll cover with some sound effects or music because I had to do that.
Go ahead. There you go. It's super loud.
But I made
You need to put the jingle over it. I'm a pepper.
Well, I can't with copyright music. You can sing it. Sing it louder.
I don't know how it goes.
Dr. Pepper. All right, well, anyway.
Drink Dr. Pepper.
So I can cover this with some funny sound effect. Watch.
There it is. Look at them. They're a nice shade of crimson.
Oh, my, like Alabama.
No.
I wasn't expecting that. All right, so we'll have these. We'll do a taste test on these after I see if I can lose your appetite by talking about bonezones.com.
Bonezones. Don't ever forget the S.
Forget the S.
Ever. Under any circumstances.
I am very close to March 25th when I'll be speaking on the history of the body farm to a women's group down in Tellico. I'm mostly talking about the book Death's Acre, which is the history of the body farm, the origins of, and...
Why am I smiling?
Because Dr. Bass is...
No, nothing gets Dr. Bass. You're like, Death's Acre. And I'm like, yes, Death's Acre.
Now, we might mention a little bit about Carved in Bone, which takes this same concept. It's the first of the fictional novels, so it kind of takes you back in time. And because it's a fictional novel, it's actually set 10 or 20 years later, just so that the characters are the right age and the contemporary references. But Dr. Bass actually started the body farm in 1971, and nobody even knew about it until 1981, which is when we talk about in this upcoming presentation I've got, where a group called the Society of Interested and Concerned Knoxvillians or something like that, SICK, complained about the body farm. So that's all in that book. And
Where is the body farm again?
It's on the UT campus.
Okay, yeah.
Actually across the street, you know where the medical center is, UT Medical Center?
Okay.
It's on the back parking lot. This is
I know where it is.
the long sleeve sweat t-shirt.
I'll stay away from there.
I thought I wanted to have the short sleeve one.
Shirt.
Here's the short sleeve shirt. This is getting into short sleeve weather. They got all these in beautiful orange too.
It's got his autograph on the back.
Yeah, and you can get the books autographed. You can get the hats autographed. You can get the skull-shaped paperweights autographed.
Nice.
In fact, the one I have in here is already signed. And they still go over to his house
The
every
skull.
once in a while. It's a paperweight that's a skull. They go over to his house every once in a while and get him to sign more items like that.
I'm curious how he selects his merch.
Well, he's got
I'd
people.
like to be in that meeting.
We've got well, if you have a suggestion,
decide.
I can certainly get you in the meeting. But
Seems a
it's
little-
Susan Seals over there at Bone Zones. Just kind of picks stuff that she likes, and especially if it has a death theme or a skeleton bone theme. I mean, the man's literally wrote the textbook on human osteology. Mm-hmm. So
Death and bones.
you get all of
bones and
that
death.
at bonezones.com.
Never ever forget the S.
Thank you very much. All right. You need,
I
you need
still
this
don't
as
know
a
what
blanket?
happens when you go to bonezone.com, but we don't want to find out.
I have no intention of ever finding out.
Nope.
All right.
Don't do it, kids.
So I guess we may as well taste test the Peeps since we've got them ready. And then I want to go back
was
in time
wondering.
to the previous holiday, which is St. Patrick's Day.
I was thinking he's going to make me wait. Just let me sit here and smell the aroma of the Peeps.
No. Here,
We have to-
we probably can save. I probably can save some
We
of
can
those.
probably.
You're not going to eat all 5 of
I'm
them, are
going to
you?
eat one. Uno. Oh, man. I'm destroying my Peep.
No. That's part of their stretchiness. They're fun if you put them in the microwave. They'll expand. You can put toothpicks in them and make them joust.
Got to cheers, Peeps. Cheers. Peeps, cheers. Beep, beep.
You can certainly roast them, and they make great s'mores. Now, I don't know about the flavored one. Now, is it the sugar you think that's flavored, or the marshmallow inside?
No, it's the sugar that's flavored. It took me a second. When you first taste it, it gives you that distinct hint of that crispness of the Dr. Pepper and the cherry undertone.
Mine still tastes like the mouthwash that I swished with right before we started filming.
That's why you don't do that.
Let me take a sip of water.
I'm actually okay.
I'm really not getting the Dr. Pepper yet
I
because I've got too much mouthwash.
It's kind of heavy on the cherry vibe.
A lot of people would compare Dr. Pepper to a wild cherry soda.
Or cheerwine, if you know your sodas.
I thought I would like cheerwine better than I do, but
Cheerwine is very sweet.
I'm such a Dr. Pepper fan that, I definitely would lean more toward pepper than cheerwine.
It's giving me the sugar shakes. In our house, if you get the chills, call them the chilly willies.
I think we might need to isolate that as a clip.
Andrew calls them the shiver me timbers. If you really, if you really get cold, because it got kind of cold today, and you said you didn't have much of the heat on here. That's when you get the shiver me timbers. But that was the sugar shakes.
Not the Sugar Shack.
I don't know what sugar shack is. Don't Google that either. Lead to bad things. No,
It's a painting.
This is interesting.
Sugar Shack is a painting that we used to use on Scholars Bowl every year as a visual question. I don't remember the details of it except that the name of the answer was Sugar Shack. Okay.
Are you getting the Dr. Pepper now? Because did I leave a crumb?
No, never mind. No.
Like me, I said.
I don't know what's wrong with me, but
I definitely get the Dr. Pepper straight off. Like you get it. It's not embedded into the marshmallow. It's really
Just
on
the
the
sugar.
coating, on the sugar coating.
okay.
And you really, if you like cherry and if you like that cherry forward flavor of Dr. Pepper, it's really good.
Well, I think what I'm going to do is I tried 2, and you had 2, right?
I had one.
We can have another one.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm going
One
to do
is enough.
is at the end of the show, I'm going to try it again and see if it hits me differently. Because right now I'm just...
It's just not. The mouthwash messed you up.
I get the sweet of it. I get the... I mean...
I still taste the Dr. Pepper in my mouth.
It has a different aftertaste than a regular Peep. And I've eaten so many millions of Peeps in my life that as I put it in my mouth and I don't eat flavored Peeps. I eat regular Peeps and it's like crushing my brain because
this is good.
everything, the sense memory is telling me what it should taste like. but I'm not getting the Dr. Pepper.
Peeps are so sugary, though, which is funny. The only thing that, in terms of Easter candy, since this is clearly in the Easter candy realm, the only thing that I used to love as a kid, I mean, I used to beg when you first saw them come out, were the Cadbury eggs. You know, that no bunny does. These are wah, 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 wah.
Is that your favorite Easter candy?
Wah, wah. It was when I was a kid. I tried one for the first time in like 10 or 15 years or longer. It's so sugary. I bit it and I was like, ugh. It just like, I just felt the diabetes coursing through me.
Yeah, the Reese's pumpkins that are the same as the Reese's eggs that are the same as the Reese's pumpkins that are the same as the Reese's Christmas trees that are the same as the Reese's hearts are pretty good.
No.
But I would say that if Peeps by far and away my number one, but I probably would go just straight old Brock's jelly beans maybe as number two.
You know how I feel about jelly beans. Jelly beans are an abomination.
Why would I know how you feel about it?
We've talked about jelly beans on other episodes, Frank Murphy. We totally have. Jelly beans are the worst candy. Remember when we did our Halloween candy?
Why would we talk about jelly beans at Halloween?
Because you brought up jelly beans before.
That was candy corn.
I said jelly beans are terrible.
Wasn't that candy corn?
No, you said jelly beans are good, and I am team
no
jelly beans.
So are you just chocolate candy?
I am also have a very specific niche opinion about various types of Reese's peanut butter products. Because the Reese's peanut butter cup in the little foil, like the OG regular 2-pack.
You used to like them, but I don't anymore.
No, they are the OG best candy that exists.
The minis?
No,
are not worth the work to unwrap.
No, forget those. Those don't taste right. When you talk about Reese's, there's the regular Reese's
Where you get
cups,
used to get two in a
which
package.
Are at the back,
package.
If you go to like a convenience store and you just get a straight up Reese's cup and there's 2-pack, those are the elite best Reese's cups. All the other ones, like the pumpkins and the ghosts, are terrible because they don't have that yummy chocolate, like that thick chocolate rim.
Okay, that's what
it gives this textural deliciousness.
What I enjoy is the absence of that thickness. I like the thinner chocolate that you get more the squishy, creamy texture of it.
That is an unacceptable answer. It's just wrong.
How
it's just a wrong opinion.
But does it put you in the holiday spirit to have a Valentine or a Easter egg or a Christmas tree or a pumpkin?
Actually, Hershey's got sued this last year.
Oh, because
in a multi-million-dollar suit because the person claimed false advertising. Valid
complaint.
Yeah, because when you take the little Reese's cup pumpkin out, it doesn't look. It's a blob.
They're all blobs.
It's a chocolate blob.
You can if we did that would be a fun experiment to take an Easter egg, Halloween pumpkin, and Christmas heart.
They're all the same.
The tree is vaguely different.
Yeah, it's like a little.
The tree looks like a triangle, but you're right. The ovoid ones are just kind of.
It's like blobs because nobody cares because you just shove it in your mouth and you eat it. It's
chocolate blobs.
One
of my favorite old-timey Bob and Ray bits was Bob and Ray were the radio comedians that influenced me to get into radio. Oh. And they had these satire bits that if you didn't listen to them, they sounded perfectly normal. But when you actually start listening to it, like insanely, they're just insane. So they had an ad, they would do a fake ad for chocolate wobblies. And chocolate wobblies were from the Bob and Ray factory. And it turns out they were Easter bunnies that had melted. And they said, and inside every end, we have a special treat, hidden inside every chocolate wobbly is a little pink ribbon. Because it would have been around the neck. You just gotta find it? Yeah, it's like imagine these bunnies that had melted into blobs.
But how did they melt?
It doesn't matter. They explain all this in the commercial that the heat was on or placed too close to the radiator. It's all fake.
Bizarre.
It's a satire. It's fake. It's not real. But it was just always one of those things that amused me and stuck with me, since I was a kid. I thought, oh, that's funny. I like it. All right.
I need a chocolate wobbly now.
All right, so let me tell you.
Easter.
Happy Easter, everybody. So this past weekend was St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
And I am very passionate, as passionate as I am about people saying daylight saving time correctly.
Not savings.
And that's wrong. It's not.
I like my daylight savings time like
but
I
you're
like
wrong,
my Valentine's Day.
Yes. So daylight saving time.
And I got no idea why I feel that way.
But I feel equally passionate about people who mistakenly use a 4-leaf clover to represent St. Patrick, which is wrong. St. Patrick is associated with the 3-leaf shamrock. Because he used, the legend is, who knows, the guy's been dead for, since he was born what was he alive, in the 400s?
Dropping knowledge.
The 900s? I mean, he predates canonization, I learned.
Okay.
So someone was trying to say, well, St. Patrick was never canonized. Well, you know why? Because they hadn't come up with the idea of canonization yet. He was considered deemed a saint by the church at that time, and they didn't come up with the bureaucracy and the paperwork to create the process of canonization.
Okay.
Until 500 years later. So he was grandfathered in. He's like, yeah, we got Peter the Apostle. Yes, okay, good. James, John, Andrew. How about St. Patrick? He's good. St. Bridget, he's good.
He is St. Patrick. So
anyway, so he's in. He's good. He didn't say it's fun. Anyhow, he used the three-leaf shamrock to represent the Trinity. He would explain. People say, how can there be one God but three persons? He's like, see this? How many leaves am I holding? How many plants am I holding up? One. How many leaves does it have? Three.
There it is.
Are the leaves the same? Yeah. Are the leaves equal to one another? Yes, they are. Thank you very much.
Are
the end.
The three-leaf shamrocks pretty common?
Well, I mean, finding a four-leaf clover is supposed to be like a good luck thing.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really hard to do.
Yeah, so three leaves more common. I have actual, shamrocks that I grow. My wife got in a birthday bouquet 10 years ago, and I've managed to keep them alive over there by the kitchen sink.
That's impressive.
Well, she had another one from before that, from 5 years earlier than that. And I thought it was dead, so I planted it, I buried it out by the mailbox, and it keeps coming back every year. So I've got shamrocks now growing up by the mailbox. I love it.
I love it.
So anyway, the other thing that bugs me is when people mistakenly refer to St. Patricia, whoever she is, when they're talking about, they want to shorten St. Patrick's Day, and they don't understand that in Ireland, Patrick is Padraig, with P-A-D-R-A-I-G, and that Irish people will occasionally refer to St. Paddy's Day, P-A-D-D-Y, apostrophe S, because that's the male version of Patrick is Paddy, and P-A-T-T-Y would refer to Patricia. And I'm sure there must be a St. Patricia. We could Google her. I don't know. No, she's not famous. But there's when you're writing on March 17th, you don't want to write about St. Patricia. You want to refer to St. Patrick. So that's my kind of I've got I got stuff about it.
All I know about St. Patrick's Day is green beer.
How is that even? Because if you think about it,
I think that's common, though.
No. If you go to Ireland and you get beer, it's dark Guinness stout.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not green.
No. They came up with green beer.
Probably whoever dyed the Chicago River green, probably the same guy.
That makes me... Ugh.
See? So imagine yourself now drinking the river.
No, imagine the poor fishies.
Are there fish in the Chicago River?
I have no idea. In my mind, there are.
Okay.
And all of a sudden it's green.
Well,
it's like a weird trip for them. It's a bad day.
So my wife made shepherd's pie with lamb, with actual lamb meat on St. Patrick's Day. It was, it was so good. I've got some left over if you want. I'll be sure happy to share it with you. It's just delicious. Yeah. She made an Irish soda bread using the recipe I got from my mother, which came, I think, from her grandmother or great-grandmother.
Wow.
So... and it's
very
so
authentic.
Good. Oh, I loved it. So I was happy. I felt like I had authentic Irish food with the shepherd's pie and the Irish soda bread. Not a big fan of corned beef and cabbage. It's too salty.
No, thank you.
Yeah, don't care for it.
I'm mostly Irish. I should know these things. And I did not.
So when I went to Ireland 8 years ago, I was so excited. We went and visited Carlingford, which is the hometown of my favorite priest, Father Michael Woods. And we got to meet his brother, who was running some kind of scam with leprechauns.
I remember that.
And he's got a new thing where there's a video game. They're called the Carlingcons or something, the Carlingford Leprechauns. And it's kind of like Pokemon Go, where you've got your phone camera is showing what you see, but then these leprechauns are popping out of the actual landmarks. Kind
of like Pokemon Go, sort of.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Did I say Pokemon Go?
Well, I'm saying
that's what I meant.
It's similar to that.
Yeah, but with leprechauns.
Yeah. Yes. And you got to catch them all.
It debuted on St. Patrick's Day this past week.
That's fun.
So anyway, Father Michael Woods, I love him so much. And in the St. Patrick's Parade in downtown Knoxville, and which I used to be the announcer for, but I was uninvited when I lost a radio job because the announcer for the parade is connected to the TV and radio sponsor.
Gotcha. It's all these radio politics.
The media sponsor, and they made it pretty clear that we no longer want those people because they don't work at this TV station or that radio station.
Yeah. No fun.
And the people at the parade felt bad, but they didn't want to lose their media sponsorship.
Yeah,
what are they going to do? So I got uninvited as the parade host.
We should start our own parade.
I already do. I do 2 Christmas parades.
No. I'm talking about St. Patrick's. Take it back. Let's just take it back.
Oh, all right.
Let's do it. I'm mostly Irish.
We could do it in Oak Ridge or somewhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds fine.
We'll decide where we want to do it, and then we'll go do it. St. Patrick's Day. And we'll have the bread and the shepherd's pie and the Guinness.
We could call it O''Cridge.
There you go. We'll just do our own.
Well, anyway, we wanted to go. My wife and I haven't been to the parade since I was the announcer for it. Granted, it got canceled multiple times because of the lockdown, because of a snowstorm on St. Patrick's Day. And then last year, I guess they had it, but it was like they were with the rain. On Saturday, the weather was beautiful.
Yeah.
So we decided to go. Now, the city has changed the parade routes in the past year or two. Did you know this?
I did not, but it makes sense.
Parades used to start in front of the Civic Coliseum, and they would come up, whatever, is that Church Street?
Yes. So it's kind of the same for the Christmas parade.
All the parades used to come up, and then hang a right on Gay Street and go down past the Tennessee Theater and everybody and all the people. Well, they changed it now. They start the parades now in South Knoxville, technically.
Oh.
What's that park, that new park over there? It's like Suttree.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think it's called Suttree Landing.
Yeah. So they start there?
Well, they'd line up there.
Yeah.
And they start on Gay Street, and they come across the Gay Street Bridge, and just keep going, and just go straight shot until they hit Magnolia, and then it disbands. I think they just go straight shot Gay Street all the way.
Okay.
So I knew this because I'm in the media. I read news articles. I mean, I'm saying it on the radio. I'm saying, by the way, no, actually, I probably didn't say it on the radio, but anyway, I knew it.
Yeah.
Why would I say it on the radio? It's somebody else's. I'm not the media sponsor. I'm not allowed to talk about that. But I knew about this. So my wife and I decided, I don't want to stand near these announcers whom I know.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to think at any point, oh, wow, I wouldn't have said it that way. I would have said it differently.
Yes.
And that's exactly what would have
Yes.
happened. I want them to have their nice little time, and I don't want to be involved.
Yeah.
So we decide that we're going to go down closer to the Bijou. And it turns out, the word has not gotten around about this change of
the
parade
flow,
route.
yeah.
Because there's like nobody where we are, but I wasn't that far. We're not that far from where the turn was, and it's packed. I mean, the people are packed on Gay Street from Church Street going.
So you could have had some prime seats
that
for
away,
this, and you didn't know.
Like the 400 block of Gay Street, where the reviewing stand is, where Crouch Park is, where everything. Packed with people.
Because that was always the route.
We're down on this other part. I don't know what number block it is.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But we're kind of up the hill from the Bijou.
Yes.
And there's nobody.
Nobody.
It's like a ghost town. So it was nice. Yeah. And the parade, people are just getting warmed up. So we see everybody in the parade, and they see us.
Nice.
So the parade marshal, Grand Marshal, is this guy comedian named Josh Mancuso, and I'll get back to him in a moment. And I'm waiting for the Grand Marshal. But the parade starts, there's two cops are rolling on motorcycles to clear the way, there's a banner, and then the pipe and drum, the bagpiping guys. And I know one of the guys, his name is John Rose, and he's there, and I said, Jere, I know one guy in this group, his name is John Rose, and we look over, and he's doing his bagpipe with one hand, but he's pointing directly at me and winking, so he obviously saw me, because how hard is it, right? So already we're off to running, and on the way there, I said to my wife, I'm not going to yell out to anything to the people in the parade. I don't want to. I'm planning not to.
Yeah.
But here comes. I say, "Hey, it's John Rose," and he's pointing at me.
Yeah. That's so fun.
Now, if there's a grand marshal for the parade coming up, 3 floats, 2 next entry down or 2 entries down, there's an even grander marshal for the parade.
Okay.
And here comes on the back of a rural metro fire truck. So
Dolly Parton.
No.
Johnny Knoxville.
No.
Elvis, he's resurrected from the
dead.
No.
I'm talking, it's the St. Patrick's Day parade. Josh Mancuso is the actual Grand Marshal. Father Michael Woods is on top of the...
Oh, really?
He's the grand, in my opinion, the grander marshal, the more grand, the grandest marshal.
The special.
And he's up there, as he is, I guess, many years he was up there, but he's up there on this fire truck. And I got a text that morning from somebody saying, help, we need a bullhorn for Father Michael in the parade. The one we had last year is broken. Do you know where we can buy one or find one? So I'm researching it. I'm sending them the name of, go to Harbor Freight, go to and Walmart even, or some other supply store. And they text back, found one. Crisis solved. So why are they texting me? I'm not even involved, in the parade, but I'm that guy.
Yeah.
They know he's friends with Father Michael. He'll figure it out.
Yes.
So I'm so excited because here's my buddy. Father Michael. He's riding on top of the thing. We stayed at his village when we went to Ireland. I'm so excited. Yes. He taught me a little bit of Gaelic, so I thought I'll yell out the thing that I remember.
Which was?
It's 100,000 welcomes.
Okay.
And it's Céad Mille Fáilte. I'm trying to imitate his accent because I didn't know how to pronounce it.
One more time.
Well, it's spelled CEAD
Okay.
MILLEFAILTE. So
Okay. I just wanted to hear you say it again.
So apparently, according to Father Michael, you say, Cade Milifalcha. And so I'm yelling it at him. I'm trying to do my imitation of him because I love the way he talks. And I think it's hilarious.
Yes.
Anyway. And he looks at me, oh! And then he goes to the mic, puts on the bullhorn, and he starts talking back to me in Gaelic.
Oh my God.
But like, not just one or two words, like a paragraph.
Oh, that's helpful.
And Jere and I are looking at him like, what?
This is when you just go, yeah.
The only word I could pick out of the whole thing was padraig. Because remember, I told you,
Yes.
padraig is the Gaelic word for... Padraig, P-A-D-R-A-I-G, is the Gaelic word for... You would shorten it to Paddy, P-A-D-D-Y, because it means...
Patrick.
There you go. You knew. You were just toying with me. So, so he's hollered out all this stuff, and I'm looking at him like, I got nothing.
You just smile and nod.
Bye.
Wave.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Apparently I didn't learn as much of the Gaelic as you thought you taught me.
You know more Gaelic than 99.9% of anyone around here. So
I was excited about that. Well, then the next thing after Father Michael is the parade Grand Marshal, Josh Mancuso. And I thought, so when I read that he was going to be the Grand Marshal of the parade, first of all, for the longest time, I couldn't tell the difference between him and Nate Bargatze. Because to me, they have a very similar voice. Oh, okay. And maybe they used to, they look a little different, but for a while there, I didn't know. I wasn't sure. And especially when they did a video together, I'm like, wait, what happened? They do it.
So similar.
So he's like the college mascot guy. He pretends to be the guy coming up with the Notre Dame mascot or the guy coming up with the Volunteers mascot, whatever. It's a funny little bit where he plays all the characters in different costumes, and it's cut, and it's humorous. And if you love college sports, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So they booked him as the Grand Marshal because he lives around here. And I thought, a couple of weeks back, well, I should ask the people who organize the parade, even though they can't have me as their announcer anymore, at least they could, and they can ask me for a bullhorn, but they can also, I can ask them for Josh Mancuso's contact information.
Sure.
And see if I can maybe interview him on my TV show. I thought that'd be nice.
Yeah.
So I send him an email, and he's like, well, I don't know. I've got a lot of...
I don't know.
It's kind of one of those... It's like, let me see how my calendar is shaping up. I can probably do one of those dates. What which means is, I'm going to wait and see. I'm sorry, Josh, I'm outing you on this, because this is my opinion, not fact. But my opinion is that, and if I were you, this is what I would have done, is you're waiting to see if you get a paid gig on one of those weekends, because you would have to, wisely, take the paid gig, even if it means flying across the country, and say no to the free interview on PBS, local PBS. Yes. Right?
Makes sense.
I have said that I'm not going to shout out at the people on the parades. Now, I've already shouted out at John Rose.
Already did.
Entry number 1. I have shouted out to Father Michael Woods, entry number 2. Here comes entry number 3, Josh Mancuso.
Did you scream?
Well, scream. He's like from here to the see the light bulb over there? He's that far away. There's nobody else.
Need signs.
I don't need signs. I can talk to him. I can talk at regular conversation volume. I yelled at Father Michael because the bagpipes were playing, and he's on a fire truck, and he's yelling in the bullhorn, and I'm excited. For Josh Mancuso, I'm smiling and waving, and he's about to pull away, and I say, "Oh, hope to see you on PBS." And he looks at me, his head does the head tilt. He's like, oh yeah, I owe you an email. The people on the sidewalk near us, Nick's closest people,
are probably like,
what is going on?
What's happening?
How are he's 3 for 3 in terms of the parade?
Everybody
of being recognized by this parade.
You should be the Grand Marshal because you know everybody.
I can't.
You're the grand knower of people.
Until they get a new media sponsor, I'm ineligible.
Don't they know how famous you are?
Imagine the burn on that. My former coworkers having to announce me as the Grand Marshal.
Why don't you just say that? Don't you know how famous I am?
Well, I thought about, tell me how rude would this be?
Yeah.
I thought about that I should either get PBS to put me in the parade.
Yes.
Because, they had Channel 6 was in the parade. In fact, that's the other thing that was weird, I'm sure, to the people next to me, is that Bo Williams and Don Dare all come over and want to shake hands with me because I'm there, while they're marching in the parade. Oh, how you doing, Mama? What's new?
Is Don Dare still like...
Don Dare's great. I love Don Dare.
Alive and kicking?
He's going to outlive all of us.
Okay. The only reason I asked that, no disrespect, he's just on TV. I've always lived here, and he's always been on TV.
I bet you he's the healthiest person at Channel 6.
I mean,
I wouldn't doubt it.
God bless you.
I love Don Jere.
Live forever.
So, also all these people are coming over and shaking my hands, but I thought it would be funny if I either got PBS to put an entry into the parade, and then my former coworkers would have to announce me as I go by. Or is that just spiteful? I don't really.
No, that's funny.
Who really cares?
Who really cares? It's a small town. If you have to, be nice to everybody.
My wife,
share.
I'm sure there's some other entity with which I'm associated that we can put into the parade,
yes.
and
just wiggle your way in there.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I probably could have glommed on to. There was a bucket brigade, and my friend Houston Vandergriff is playing in the bucket brigade. There's drums, but they use old,
That's fun.
Like plastic buckets.
Yeah.
And it sounded fun. It had a nice big rich sound. It sounded good. There's some other people I recognized who were marching by from whatever the Catholic Charities or some other group I could have glommed onto, but I decided not to. But I think I may have gotten a booking out of it if I can get Josh Mancuso to me.
Got to get those interviews going. Keep it rolling.
Anything else new with you? Do you want to talk about your trip, your first trip to Disney World, or?
I met Winnie the Pooh, and I ate lots of food.
Were you?
Lots of food.
Pointed?
And I took lots of
disappointed?
Photos.
Were you happy?
I fully understand, whereas before I did not understand Disney adults. I fully get it. I am with you.
Disney adults are a little.
You.
I don't know. I think Disney adults are a little.
They are. They're a little wackadoo. But
you're one of them now,
I don't think I don't want to be one of them because, I think I'll go once every couple of years. My point is when you go, just go. It's like when you go to Vegas, to gamble and be ratchet and drink. Yeah. Just go for it and be redneck. Just go.
So if you're going
to go to Disney, wear the ears.
Go all in.
Hug the mascots. Yeah. Sing, skip, eat the junk food.
Did you do that?
Yes. Yes. Did you not see all my photos on Facebook?
I saw a lot of them.
I have a photo with Remy the Ratatouille in my hand.
Oh, is it like a Photoshop thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
You buy a Disney Magic Pass or a Photo Pass thing, and there's places all throughout. There's little signs that it's kind of like a scavenger hunt. You'd like it. You kind of have to look for it.
Yeah.
And then you stand there, and out of nowhere, a little photographer comes out and tells you what to do, and then they do a little Photoshop magic. Like they say, put your palm out. Look at your palm and look surprised.
Oh,
and then they put a little Tinkerbell.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's not all your photos, but
I get it.
Yeah, it was just it was a fun time.
Now, when we lived in Southern California, we went to Disneyland a lot.
Yes.
And working in radio, we got tickets, not to the, not just free tickets to go any old day, but they'd have special events for media.
Yeah.
So we got red carpet treatment, and then we went to Disney World in Florida, usually on somebody else's dime. We get flown down there, and it'd be some kind of event,
that's fun.
Some kind of fanciness. And one of the ones, Jere and I had to get a tuxedo so we could go to a thing at the opening of what was then called MGM Studios.
Yes, it's now Hollywood Studios.
And so, I mean, I really had
really fun.
Gotten my fill of it, and until. Unless I'm going to start bringing the grandkids.
Yeah.
Which is...
You should.
Well, see, the other side of it is I can bring them to Dollywood. And
Dollywood is a great option, too.
And I noticed...
And way less expensive.
And the more of these Dollywood press events that I go to, I'm recognizing, I'm like, this is red carpet treatment equivalent to what I used to get at Disneyland back in the day. And I don't even deserve it. I'm just a schmuck from a local radio station, but they treat you that well.
Dollywood is known for that locally.
Yeah.
They're known for that hospitality, and I'm glad that extends to their media folks. But Dollywood's a great option. The thing with Disney, if you take I should know this. Do you have 3 little grandbabies? You have 5? Okay, so Andrew and I went for 4 days, just the 2 of us, and we spent in excess of $10,000.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
so Disney has unfortunately
It is.
Priced itself out of my range. And I was never, I probably was never in its price range because, like I said, we had media tickets for many of these events. And we certainly got our fill to the point where we managed our kids' expectations to the point where we're like, hey, we're only going to do one ride today. Pick one.
That's so sad.
No, we didn't, because we could just come back the next week if we wanted.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
You see, we would say, what ride do you want to do today? And if there's time, we'll do a second one, but we're only planning on the one.
Yeah.
And they were like, fine. And so we always were able to manage our expectations. So every time we went, we exceeded expectations.
Yeah,
Every
I
time we
gotcha.
went, it was great because we weren't disappointed.
Yeah.
Because we left before we could get disappointed.
Okay,
You know,
yeah.
it was all fun, and it's a different vibe when you're your local theme park.
And it's so busy.
Yeah.
Disney World. I call Disney World, which by the way, if you ever call them to set up a vacation, they're super awesome.
I bet they're great.
give
I
you
mean,
all
for
the
that kind of money, they
Yeah, and I purposely was like,
they should come pick you up at your house and drive you there.
I mean, they will. They actually have minivans where they'll come and get you. I'm not kidding. This is a thing. But when I called that, I was like, when is your least busy month? And they said January. And I said, when is your least busy week? And that's the week we're coming. And that's the week we went.
Good.
And it was great because there was still a good number of people there, but it wasn't crazy like it was. This last week at spring break, just wall-to-wall people. You couldn't.
What did you
go
do
in.
during spring break? Anything?
Took care of my dad.
I was wondering if you did you do anywhere? Did you go on a road trip?
Yeah.
Did you do?
Yeah.
Did you go anywhere? I mean, I know your dad. I mean,
Let's talk about depressing
We decided right
things.
beforehand that we weren't going to talk about how you've been handling your dad's affairs, and he's now in assisted living, which that's sad, and that's part of the reason
Yes.
why
I haven't been here in a minute.
you had to cancel a few
Yeah.
times on scheduled recordings.
Well, it was funny because I had actually missed a lot of work last week, done some things, and my husband is like, "Let's do something fun. Let's just go do something spontaneous." And I'm like, "What do you want to do?" And he's like, "Let's go to Pal's and get a cheeseburger." Which, if you're from East Tennessee, you might know what
Do you
Pal's
burn your
is.
mouth? And every time I've gone to Pal's, I have burned my mouth on their food because it is so blazing hot.
It's hot and it's fresh.
It's
and
good.
It's worth it.
So there's no inside. It's just a drive-through, and the building has usually a giant hot dog and a giant hamburger
and a giant soda. I noticed
on
when
the
I was there.
outside. And they're mostly up in the Tri-Cities, so
Yes.
Northeast Tennessee, like we're talking,
Johnson City.
Bristol, Johnson
Jefferson
City.
City.
But
Yeah.
Jefferson City is much closer than
Johnson
City.
City is about a 90-minute drive here from West Knoxville, which is not bad because you just go up I-40.
It's it's more than halfway to Morristown.
Yeah, so you go up to I-40.
And there's a Pal's in Morristown.
You get off at Dandridge exit,
Right.
and you just go over a couple miles, hang a right, and you're in the beautiful, sprawling Jefferson City, and there's a Pal's. And they call it sudden service because you get there and you get through, and it's an odd drive-through because you start and then you just go around the building and they give you your food.
Oh, so you order on the
it
one
was-
side and then pick up on the other side?
Yeah, exactly. And you pay on the other end. And the food is just, I can't explain it. It's a hamburger and a hot dog and French fries. They call them Frenchy fries.
If you can go
and
back,
they're amazing.
if you can go back to maybe the first time you tried a McDonald's hamburger, and
it's
you're
like
you're
that.
surprised at how good it is and how relatively cheap it is,
Just delicious.
and
yeah.
it wasn't too much, and it wasn't
Yeah.
the big massive thing. It's just something you can just take and you literally could just eat while you
You
drive,
get a
probably.
big pile of cheese.
Except that you burn your mouth because it's
I
blazing.
did not burn my mouth, but I also got a milkshake. Like I went all out because I've been like eating healthy for like 15 months now.
This was a cheat day.
I had a cheeseburger. I had the little Frenchy fries, and I had half of a shake, and it was
sounds
chef's
delicious.
kiss. So if you're in the area and you like venture up to like Northeast, Tennessee,
Were they
go
ever
to
going to
Pal's.
open one in Knoxville, you think?
So I actually researched this because I liked it so,
Of course you did.
so much a few years
Are you
ago.
going to buy the franchise?
The gentleman, and maybe he's watching, but the gentleman that owns the Pals, kind of thing, and it started in the 50s. I think it said since 1956
Is it only
or
in
57.
Northeast Tennessee? Is it
That's
anywhere
it.
else in the world?
It's not anywhere else.
Okay,
it's
so this is
just
very
local. And
local.
he has no plans to go to Knoxville. Zero.
Well, if you think about it,
I would gain all my weight back if Pals was, right down the road.
we're getting every other thing. How many places in the world can you find a Culver's and a Bojangles next to each other?
Really? Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, because I know my northern...
Culver's is good too. My goodness.
But southern people don't know Culver's because it's a Wisconsin
good.
chain.
No.
And northern people don't know Bojangles because it's a very southern chain. Like my son-in-law, he won't even tell us. Like the last thing he'll leave, they're here, they'll say goodbye, and we want to feed them, we want to give them food for the road. They're like, no, we're good, thank you very much.
Go to Culver's?
No, they go to the Bojangles.
See, I'm not a fan of Bojangles. I don't think now their breakfast is
It's
delicious.
good. No, it's fine. But I'm saying as fried chicken goes, if you don't have access to it, it's the same as when I go to their neighborhood and all I want to do is eat pollo a la brasa. I want to go to every Peruvian restaurant and eat Peruvian chicken. It's just chicken.
Yeah.
But there's something
you can't
about
get
it.
it.
I can't
Yeah.
get it down here
Can't get
easily, so I want to get it up there. Well, we've got on Cedar Bluff or wherever it is over Kingston Pike, there's a Culver's and a Bojangles next to each
Right
other.
next door, yeah.
And that's like north and south. This is
Yes,
where it's like
their
mashup town,
Yeah. I love Culver's. That is like, if I want to have a really good stomach ache, you get one of their cheeseburgers with all the stuff and
Butterburger,
bacon,
baby.
a Butterburger.
Butterburger.
Their cheese curds, and then whatever.
I don't think I could do the
concrete
cheese
thing.
curds. See, the cheese will get to me.
No, it's all. I mean, I'm saying this is a deliciously bad tummy ache, but it's good. It's good going down.
I have one more question before we wrap this episode. Now,
Yes.
we're already over. My
always
wife showed up just as we were starting
Yes.
to record. And that's one of the most common questions I get is, does your wife know that you hang out with these pretty girls? Yes,
Yes.
she was right here.
We love her.
She said hello. And she's fine with it. She's getting ready for choir practice. She's
Yes.
got stuff to do, rehearsal. But she mentioned that she got the mail on her way in. And I said, did I get anything? Did anyone send me any money for one of my freelance jobs? Apparently not.
Any checks in the mail? No.
Not today. And I get like once in a rare while I will get money. So I have to get, go do the mobile deposit and do all the things.
Get it in the bank.
Well, you made a comment though, but I didn't quite understand it.
Yes.
About getting the mail.
Yeah, in every marriage, there's someone who gets the mail and someone who does not get the mail. Like, it's their job.
No, my wife, I mean, what do you mean by that?
Well, because
I can get the mail. She'll get the mail. What difference does it make?
It's somebody's job to get the mail. And in my house, it's my husband's job. And you do not get the mail.
What?
Because
Why not?
if you do, unless he's like out of town or something, which never happens. But
all right, well,
know.
when I do get the mail, I will often text my wife and say, I got the mail.
Yes.
Because I don't want her to stop at the end of the driveway, get out of the car, and be disappointed that
there's no mail.
Because I got it.
What I get is, why is there no mail today? I was like, because I got it, because it was raining.
Does he get a lot of mail?
Yeah, we get a lot of mail.
So I don't get that much mail.
We get a lot of mail.
But why can't you
It's
check it?
Sad.
It's
not that I'm not allowed. It's just like.
Are you allowed to open his mail?
Yeah, sure.
Really?
I'm allowed to fold his underwear. I think I can open his mail.
Okay, all right, because this goes back. My wife and I, when we were newlyweds on our honeymoon, we went and stayed at my grandmother's cottage. And while we were there, we went and visited some of the other relatives that had cottages in the area. When they were back in the 1950s, my grandparents and some of their siblings bought these little cottages in the country as second homes. They all lived in apartments in the Bronx. So they all lived in tiny little apartments on the Bronx. So they were renters. So they finally were able to buy a piece of property. So they bought a little cottage, not even winterized. The walls are so thin that they had to, every Labor Day, you would turn off all the water, you would drain all the pipes, you would do everything because you would lock it up for the winter. It was just a summer cottage. We stayed there for our honeymoon. We went and visited Aunt Rose and Uncle Ed at their cottage in the next town over. And Aunt Rose decides to give us a lecture on happy marriages because we're on our honeymoon.
Okay, helpful.
And what we retained from this is never open the other person's mail.
Interesting.
In Aunt Rose's opinion, the key to a happy marriage was never open your spouse's mail, only open your own mail. And so I will do that. I will say to my wife, here's some mail for you that I have not opened.
Yeah.
And this is...
Yeah, but we live in the world now in 2024 where we all have smartphones. And like
strangely, I don't mind if she opens my mail.
Yeah, my
anything...
husband has access to like my smartphone.
Yeah.
And that's way more like intrusive than
What do you mean by
mail.
he has access to it?
I mean, he knows my code. He can put his face. He can, because you have the face, whatever, if you have an iPhone.
He can use his face to unlock your phone?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay, I cannot unlock my phone with my...
I'm just saying we've got it set up for full access. So like whoever I call or text, like I don't care if he sees it because I ain't doing nothing wrong.
Well, I know my wife's unlock code.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I can't use my face to do it, but I know her code.
So the mail kind of feels like small potatoes next to like having access to your spouse's. Like,
does he know where you are?
Yeah, we have the track. We share each other's locations and stuff like that.
See, that's strange because that's another thing you mentioned when I was calling my wife to ask, how close are you to getting here? Because I'm going to start the recording.
Yeah, I just look to see where he is. And if I know, like, if he's late coming home, it's like, oh, he's at the bank. Look, or oh, he stopped to do this, or he's at Food City. It's just easy. It's not like I track where he is.
There's something creepy about it, but I'd also, on the other hand, a great deal of...
It's not creepy if you're on your second marriage. Because when you're on your first marriage, you don't know this stuff. And then your second marriage, you've already done, kind of crap the bed, messed stuff up. And then, so you do your second marriage and you're like, oh, you kind of, it's like the first pancake. You don't eat it. You kind of just throw it away. And their second, third pancake is better. I'm just saying, you figure this stuff out. This is second marriage type stuff, right? You know, that's why we've got it figured out.
Okay, well, on that happy note, I can't even, because I'm still on my first marriage.
I'm just telling you the truth.
I'm still on my first marriage, and it never occurs to me to do a tracker on. We watch these murder shows, these British murder shows, or suspense shows, and of course they're all looking at each other's phone, trying to figure out where the missing woman is, and it shows that she's here, and it shows that she's there, and of course you find out at the end that she's been dead the whole time,
well,
and the killer has been moving her phone around, trying to throw everybody off the scent. But, you know, it's a good plot line for a murder mystery.
But people look at it through the wrong lens because they think, oh, you're looking to see if your husband is really at lunch at this place. It's like, no, I actually just don't want to call him in the middle of the day when he's busy. And if, like, my husband's an attorney, if he's, like I said, if he's at the courthouse, I'm not going to call because I know where he is.
Well, I mean,
I can look and go, oh, he's busy.
I can't reach my wife when she's at work most 90% of the time. I can try, but she just doesn't answer. She keeps her phone on mute, and she just ignores the calls.
But when you travel a lot and you go different places, you know the other person's safe. So, and it's totally, and the caveat here is it's whatever works for you in your marriage. Whatever keeps y'all like close and comfortable, it's good. And if that feels weird to you, then don't do it. If it feels weird to have somebody like open your mail, then don't open my dang mail. Leave my mail alone.
Leave my mail alone.
Leave my mail alone.
All right. Well, if you would like to share maybe some audiobooks with your spouse,
yes,
you can get a free trial subscription, a premium level subscription to Audible when you go to audibletrial.com/frankandfriendshow. Use that URL because you're helping us out while you try it out for 30 days for free. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of that time, they'll start charging you, assuming that you keep it going and you don't cancel. But every month, you get an MP3 credit for a download, and those are things that you keep on your own devices. Yes. You store them whatever you want to store them on, but those don't go away, even if you do end your Audible membership at some point.
You keep them forever.
There's enough stuff on there, just in terms of audiobooks, for you to listen for the next 300 years, and I doubt you're going to live that long, no offense.
Yeah.
But
you'll never get bored.
There's also podcasts, including ours, all of that at audibletrial.com/frankandfriendshow. And our fabulous merch, I am excited to about the pint glasses, which I know others have bought. Like Tanya Cinnamon, I think, is the first person to buy a Frank and Friends pint glass, and I think they look better than I expected, better than I could have imagined. I mean, granted, they look like the one in the picture, but I just like it. It's my favorite. No offense to the coffee mug, which is okay, but this is my new favorite.
Coffee mug, your old hat.
Yeah. And I also wanted to, I guess I got the red sweatshirt, but my friend Becca James bought one of these in the beautiful electric blue.
Nice. It's a good color for her.
I think it looks good, and I need to get her. She sent me she sent a picture of herself doing some stupid thing, and I could see that she had on this new blue hoodie. So I commented on Facebook, "New sweatshirt?" ?
Show the whole thing.
Because I'm aware that she bought it, because I got notified you sold a sweatshirt. But I'm excited that I'll wait and let her do it. She sent a quick, selfie of herself pointing at the logo, but it's all backwards because it's
a selfie,
like a mirror image. There's ways to do it where it's not a mirror image.
Yeah, but then your face looks weird. So priorities.
So I want to get a nice picture of Becca in her sweatshirt, and I ordered a new one for my wife for her birthday, but it's late. It hasn't gotten here yet, so
Sometimes they're a little slow.
I'm a little anxious about that.
They make it to order.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
They do. So when that comes, we'll hold that up and I'll show you how beautiful it is. All righty.
Go.
That's at frankandfriendshow.com/store. Sarah, thank you. I know I kept you this episode's too long.
It's too long.
So I'm sorry. We probably could have stopped round about the Bone Zones commercial or somewhere after that, and sliced it into two. But I was so excited because it's been
Good to see you. My hands are freezing.
I wasn't even trying for the handshake. I was just doing. I'm so excited. I was trying to do this.
We could do fist bumps. We could do our own little shake and bake. There we go. All right.
And I'm happy that you're here. And I hope. So calculating this out.
Yeah. I'll come back in July.
April, May. Well, June. Maybe. Yeah. This is still better than previous years. What would happen is I would assume that you didn't want to come back.
No, not at all.
I've learned. You've taught
Yes.
me. But last year and the year before, and maybe I think it was, I would remember your birthday and I would say, hey, happy birthday, why don't you come on the show every
Come
April?
on back.
Every April. But you now have learned me enough
Now I
to
ask you.
send me a text that says,
I'm coming over.
I have Frank and Friends show FOMO.
Yeah, that's
And
what I said.
I've been telling everybody this because it made me so happy.
Frank and Friends FOMO.
I'm saying that's all it takes.
Yeah.
And you know who I'm talking to.
Come on over.
So I would love for you to...
Next episode, we're going to Buc-ee's.
But bring
on
topics.
site.
You gotta be,
Okay.
you know... I
I
mean,
always have topics.
that's what I mean.
I always want to talk about my dog, guys, and he just, you know, he's just not excited about my dog. He's so cute. He barks. He fetches.
Frady talks about her dog. You can talk about dogs. I just can't relate. I've had one dog in my life, and it was fine.
We need a road trip to Buc-ee's. I'm just saying.
Okay.
We can do that. All right.
All right. We'll do it.
Beautiful.
It is the Frank and Friends Show. I'm Frank Murphy.
I'm Sarah Roberto.
And we'll talk to you again next time.